Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the King Leo Show. This is our pre-show. Still not 10 o'clock. We're finally early again. How do we feel about that, everyone? Let's check the audio. Make sure our audio is okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Audio's perfect. How's everyone doing tonight, man? Welcome to the King Leo Show. Hasn't been a super active. You know what's so weird is that this war is literally going on, and it could turn into World War III. I'm not a sensationalist channel, but it seems to be heading in that direction, right? Why am I cut off here, man? Let me check this real quick. Yeah, we're in the pre-show. See if I can extend this up. No, it won't. Huh, interesting. Well, I guess I'll do this. I'll just move myself. There we go. That's better. All right. Yeah, this is... How you doing, Eves? What's up? What's up? All right. Welcome to the King Leo Show. It's 10 o'clock. It's time to get started. How's everyone doing tonight? This war is going on, but no one really seems to be talking about it. And even if people talk about it, you know, it's not really a big deal. I asked people, you know, my producer told me that he's even going around lying to people saying, you know, my brother's serving over there. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, good luck. Yeah. No one really cares about this war. It's fascinating stuff. So I think we have to, as Bajlar would prescribe, we have to look around the war. We have to look at the real things. By the way, Eves, that video is coming about, I think I'm going to drop it and be like, what is a Bajlardian? I'm going to do that over the weekend, but I'll probably drop it on the weekend. So you have to pardon my vaping, guys. I got done with the Zen, dude. It was spiking my cortisol. How you doing, Mr. Elu? How you doing, Audio Vibes? All right, everyone, let's get to the plugs. Then we got to get into the show, man. There's a lot to do. This Fuentes thing is interesting. I've been waiting a little bit to cover it, but let's get into that. All right. We have the Discord as usual, free. I have not been active on here, and I'm sorry about that, everyone. I'm sorry. But I will be more active soon. I finally got healed. I'm done. My fingers are okay, but I need to fall back in the rhythm of it. We also have the Patreon, which is $5 or $20 a month. Gets you the King Leo Movie Club every week on Sunday. You get a new video, and we will get something else on there at some point. But it also gets you access to the paid Discord server, which is with voice. Oh, I have one here. I'll check this out after, Eves. I don't want to voice dox you. And we have also the What Would a Postmodernist or What Would Piers Morgan Do bracelets available as well. How's everyone doing tonight, man? Welcome to King Leo Show. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that like button. Smash the like button. How about that? All right, everyone. Let's just get into it, man. We have a lot to cover today. Some of it will deal with the war. Some of it won't. I'm excited to talk to you guys about Venezuela and Cuba. There have been some developments, but no one's covering it because no one cares. All right, so let's get to Schizo Watch, man. Let's look at how I cry for my country. All right, perfect. First of all, I have big news, big news. Israel has had the first bit of good propaganda. What? I guess maybe now Netanyahu's doing it himself. And people online are surprised. They're going, wow, they finally started making good propaganda. It's crazy to see because we have sat here and watched bad propaganda, denotationally, not connotationally, for months. And finally, someone got a Zoomer in there, and they were like touched by the spirit of Yahoo. They were like, okay, wow. So let's watch here the new IDF video here. I know some people don't like the IDF here, and this is an analysis channel. We're analyzing the propaganda. Let's watch this, man. This is good shit. Good shit.
Nothing beats a jet. Nothing beats a jet.
Love him or hate him, man. This is total epic propaganda. The Israelis are using Don Omar for their propaganda. What? A Puerto Rican? They didn't choose Bad Bunny. They chose the right. Is Don Omar Puerto Rican? He has to be, dude. I can't call a Hispanic brother something he's not. Don Omar has to be Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican, as usual. I'm right. All right. Great stuff. Wow. It owns, dude. It owns. I'm not gonna shit on it. It owns. This is good stuff. Everything else has been shitty. Of course, some people will say that these are like war crimes over here. But I'd rather see someone embrace this than to run away from it. You know, it's always pathetic when you run away from it. Eliminate it. GTA style. what's going on with it? What's in the water? How did this happen? Why isn't Arian Wexler making shitty jokes? Okay. Mr. Elu says Iran's more important than Cuba. We'll get to that, though. Something is cooking. And Eve says they watch the show. Yeah, well, if I could help them with the propaganda, I guess. I like to watch a good show. Don't we all love to watch a good show? We all love to sit back with our popcorn and watch a good show. Even if the show is horrifying, we need to make sure the show is good. So I will never take away from people when they're actually good at propaganda. All right. We covered this yesterday. I wanted to show you here John Doyle, this nebbish little fellow who spent all of Black History Month shitting on black people. It was very uncouth. Thank you, Eves. Appreciate that. And he was interviewed by Michael Knowles here. And I want to show you this just to show you the state of the Daily Wire, the state of the conservative movement. Let's watch what they're doing now.
Do you consider yourself an expert on black people? And this is, I got to answer, you put your answer, what you would say about yourself. And now I have to answer how you would answer. Cheers. Cheers. We can just drink now. Chin chin. You do. You do. And I noticed this because you have an amazing series.
That's right.
For Black History Month, where you decided you were going to debunk what is known as Black history.
That's right. There's just a lot of stuff that's just plainly untrue about certain inventions that they claim, periods of history that even many conservatives think are things to admire or revere, which are just false. And so, yeah, we thought we'd go through the entire gauntlet, and I think we're on day 14 or 15 right now. We're a couple days behind. Again, being culturally respectful, we didn't want to be completely punctual in our releasing of these videos. I do claim myself to be a sort of expert on the black people, whom I love dearly, and it's because I grew up in Detroit around them, and I just understand kind of how their culture functions in a way that many white liberals who accuse me of racism simply don't.
There's this thing, capital B, capital H, it gets shoved down your throat by all the liberals in February. Black history, as though it's this alien thing from the rest of history.
Right.
And it's made up of these various secular saints, the supposed innocence of Rosa Parks or something like that, and a lot of it is just contrived.
Yeah, it's your Rosa Parkses, your Harriet Tubmans. I mean, literally all of these people. They exist as these kind of, like you said, this mythological figure.
Legendary sort of figures.
Yes,
yeah.
And that is entirely just a creation of propaganda, which serves to uproot American history and divide people and lead us into accepting what is referred to on Twitter as gay race communism.
Yeah, right. A lot of the black history stuff, it actually was promoted by like literal communists.
I think I've said it before, but I haven't said it in this context. It's February. It was Black History Month. The shortest month of the year. The only month where we traditionally sit down and we go, let's think about the good things black people have done. And they spent the whole time. If conservatives are thinking about black people this often, I think the conservatives have something. They might be wanting to sleep with those black women, man. Maybe even those black men. You can't be thinking about black people this much and not have some sort of, what is it called? The paraphilia? This is, why would you do this? Why are you shitting on the blacks like this? I was the only one spreading peace, love, and understanding in February. We were honoring black people like Blade and Ray Charles. And these guys spent the whole month thinking about how evil black people are. What is this? Again, I'll reiterate. I said it yesterday. So when we inevitably get White History Month, are we going to do like top 10 serial killers? Or are we just going to celebrate the good things white people have done? This is sick stuff, man. Thinking about black people this much, I think Michael Knowles might have a black fetish. John Doyle, at least he says here he grew up around black people. Look, I'm an anthropologist. I love being a fake anthropologist, dude. I love to do it. I love it. But I'm not thinking about a specific race or group. I'm trying to understand all of them over time, you know? And they're over here. You know, when I was struggling to come up with Black Person of the Day after we got through the halfway point. Camera good? Yeah, camera's good. I was struggling. Because I was like, damn, dude, I've run through all the black people I know. But these guys, it is an unstoppable wave of bullets of black people suck, black people are evil. Why? It's the 1 month, man. It's the shortest month. I don't get it, you know? Black people have done some cool stuff. They've done bad stuff. Everyone has done good and bad stuff. What are we doing here? Now, I guess this is what everyone in the Daily Wire wants, man. They want to watch Michael Knowles and John Doyle talk about how black people are bad. And if you want that, I mean, I guess, man, but I feel like you could just drop out of politics, like become like a phrenologist or something. You know, I'm a part-time phrenologist. I love a skull measurement every once in a while, but this is the obsession. Like black people are bad. Silly stuff, man. Let's continue. I wanted to show you here our terrible, the very, very bad, the worst one, the one who should never have a month. Andrew Schultz, again, blessing us with his political opinions with the wonderful Joe Rogan, both of which endorsed and voted for Donald Trump and now have buyer's remorse. And, you know, I was thinking about it last night with my producer, dude, and I realized, and I don't know if there's a German word for it, I'm a guy who hates people that express buyer's remorse. I don't know why that is. It could be biological. I don't like when people say they have buyer's remorse. I suck it up and I eat it. You know, if I can't return it, if I don't have the receipt, then I'll suck it up. Buyer's remorse is really gross to me. So let's watch here Andrew Schultz giving us his political takes, you know, after telling us the reason he's voting for Trump is because Democrats don't get pussy no more.
You got to pay very close attention to what people are feeling. Don't tell them what they should feel and you know better and, oh, we have to, you know, lead them to the water because they're too stupid to know how to find it. No. They are disillusioned by the medical system. And if you don't meet them there, you're never going to win. Ever.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's, at least from talking to Trump, that was something that I got from him is like, it doesn't seem like it when you see him on the news and shit, but he's like an acute listener. Like he listens to what people are saying. And he listens to, more importantly, what they're feeling. And he can tap into those feelings. And I think that that's what people who've had a lot of success in politics were able to do. Barack did it. Bill Clinton did it. Probably maybe the best. Bill might have been the best. His ability to communicate to people what they were feeling.
I know you feel pain.
I do feel pain, Bill.
I'm here for you.
You are?
I am.
I would love that. You know, it was...
I'm going to be your leader.
Yeah, it was...
Yeah, it's...
You need to listen.
What I think what Trump's done that's really brilliant is bringing people like Tulsi Gabbard, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Kash Patel. Like, bringing those people and, like, you kind of really do get a chance to change things, like legitimately change things.
But think about that decision, right? It's like those people are all echoing sentiments that the majority of Americans feel. We do not trust the food. Here's the guy who says the food is bad.
Right.
Maybe we should put him in control of the food. Kind of like a simple thing.
Yeah.
Instead of going, well, this guy is the food doctor, and we're going to hire the food doctor because he knows what food is good for you, and you guys should just shut up and listen. And I feel like there's a lot of this, like, top-down on the left. And I'm not trying to just, like, bag on the left. I don't care really about that. Like, I don't even care about the politics. I care more about, like, where the cultural liquidity is. And it's like, you can't talk down to people. There's this, like, Ivy League pretentiousness in the Democratic Party, I feel, where they're like, we know better, and just, you must be stupid if you don't agree with us. And it's like, all right, well, I'm stupid. I'm dumb. Yeah. I'm dumb then. So why doesn't somebody meet me where I'm stupid and start at least making me feel like I'm not an asshole for the way that I, you know, for my, I guess you could say, political leanings now. Yeah, I feel like they need to meet. And it's a very simple thing. Make it a class issue, and I think they win. And say what you want about America, but I think it's better if we have two people running for president that we're stoked about, and it's a really hard decision.
Oh, yeah. That would be wonderful. Yeah, that's not what we had.
The reason this clip has resurfaced is because these are the guys who now have buyer's remorse, right? And what I would want to... Look, there's a lot of... this is the summary of the clip. This is the summary, okay?
It's 90% bullshit, but it's entertaining.
What I'm realizing here is that, and I don't know if this is representative of the American public at large, we have here a tough guy, Joe Rogan, you know, a tough guy, ripped, jacked, kung fu fighter, whatever, everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning, And we have Andrew Schultz, who's like this comedian, very funny guy, masculine, of course, right? They have to be masculine. You're on the Joe Rogan Experience. And maybe it's because I come from a culture that is masculine, okay? We even have like machismo, as some people like to say. I didn't realize that what the masculine jacked dudes of America wanted was to be listened to go to therapy. Everything they rag on women for, like I'm not saying Joe Rogan does this or Andrew Schultz, but I'm sure Andrew Schultz is probably an offender on this. How women are this way or that way. Actually, he has in his stand-up. You are projecting then, because all you want to sit down on a couch and just do talk therapy from your politician. Is that what you want? Does the American public, all they want is to go to therapy? I've never understood therapy, dude. If you're Hispanic and you go to therapy, you are going to get destroyed. Okay, he's going to therapy. He must be crazy. Lock him in the basement. And I'm not saying that's healthy, but it's very alien to me, as someone grown up in America, born here, to see that our masculine macho men, all they really want from politicians is, babe, can you just listen to me about this story? That's what they want. That's how you get someone's vote in America, by being a therapist. Then we should have the therapist run for office. If all they want is to be heard, they don't even want results. They just want to, baby, can I tell you about this work? Is that what they want? I thought that's what people ragged on women for, but I guess that's what they want. This is so pathetic, dude. The calculation is Democrats don't get pussy, and I don't feel heard. I don't feel seen. This is everything they made fun of woke people for. You have your own truth. Yeah, they had their own truth. What's the problem? Now you're doing the same thing. I want to be heard. I want to be listened to. I just don't feel like you appreciate me. I didn't know Joe Rogan could express those kinds of feelings. This guy who's in the gym and shit like that. Or Andrew Schultz, who's I assume is like in the gym, macho guy. I just want to be heard. I just want to be listened to. What a bunch of pussies, man. We live in this country, bro. I give Gen Xers shit, but Gen Xers might be right. Like, this is a pussification process. And this is a Gen Xer and a millennial. Shut up. I don't want to hear you. How about that? How about actually it'd be better if we didn't listen to you? How about that? How about politicians were probably better when they didn't have to listen to the TikTok plebeian? Maybe they were better when it was that. Maybe they were. So maybe that's why. How you doing? I really want to know. How you doing, sir? What's good, brother? Crazy times we're living through. It's the beginning of the end or the end of the beginning. I think it's the beginning of, I don't know. I think it's the beginning of the new end. It's going to be great stuff. And Mr. Elu says, didn't Andrew Schultz say he voted for Republicans because they get pussy? He did. So as long as you get pussy and you're heard, that's all they really want. They want a therapist that can get laid. That's what they want. And Eve says that the wrestling crap, yeah, dude, all they want is professional wrestling. Great stuff, man. Great stuff. Let's skip this. I'm not in the mood for Kiriakou tonight. I had to show you this, bro. We were covering this guy starting at the beginning of the week. This is a former sex offender who's running for office in California. And he held a rally. Guess where he held his rally? At a children's school, at a school. He held a rally at a school. His charge was possession of CP, okay? And he's... let's just watch it. Let's watch this guy, dude. This is the great stuff in our country.
Is there a reason you chose this location to do this announcement?
I feel the city of Fresno, there are certain areas that represent rehabilitation, people. This church has been here for hundreds of years. Forgiveness isn't something that is just given to you. It is not handed. You earn it day by day, minute by minute. That's what I'm doing. I'm not asking, I'm not demanding. I'm saying grow with me, trust me. They chose to go on the news and say, I don't belong here. I don't belong in this race. What type of person doesn't belong here? Today, I don't belong. Tomorrow, they don't belong. So what are we saying? Does the Constitution matter anymore? The laws they're pushing on us, they want us to believe in them. You want us to follow them. You follow them. I've been accountable. Let's hold them accountable. Lead by example. There is another issue that I'd like to address. There is something that has publicly been said. How would I address the issue of schools? I've never said I would go to schools. Over the last few days, mothers have reached out to me, angry. I didn't silence them. I talked with them. They said, how could a person like you help? I listened, and I said, I can't fix everything, and I'm not going to promise you the world, but I can give you the advice I learned. That's the best I can do.
Does the conditions of your sentence prevent you from being a certain distance from schools?
There are certain California restrictions people must follow within the law, and I follow the law to the letter.
Can you share some of those restrictions after rehabilitation? Is there any set in place?
As of right now, it's the basic restrictions of California law.
And do you know some of them? Can you share them with us?
It's going to be the California laws that are restricted to that penal code.
There's an elementary school right there. Is that would that be against the rules?
I would say during operational hours, absolutely. I believe they are closed right now. I don't see anyone, and I understand the issue. However, I called it here because I felt this place was important. We can't say this person is that person. I have rehabilitated, and people can't keep saying, I'm afraid of him. If you keep saying that, you don't believe in rehabilitation. You don't believe in what you're voting for.
Normally, I would play the Tupac clip here. But this is so crazy, man. My only reaction, I brought up the clip because I want to show you guys. This is my reaction to this guy, dude. It's literally the commander in the Hurt Locker, man. Like the balls, the gumption, I understand we all hate child molesters, man, but
well, that's just hot shit. You're a wild man, you know that?
Yes,
He's
sir.
a wild man. You know that?
he's a fucking wild man, dude. He's a wild man. This is a wild man. This is a man who is this? Someone ring Friedrich Nietzsche. Is this Nietzscheanism? This is insane. I know he's a bad person, and none of us like it, but you have to step back and go, where do you get the balls? Like, if he didn't have this on his record, this guy would be running JP Morgan. Or maybe even with this record, he could be running JP Morgan. No, that's not our channel. No, we're not Candace Owens. Whatever. But damn, dude, this is crazy. What? This is the kind of stuff that I don't know if you can win. I don't know how big the stigma is on this at this point. After the Epstein thing, because that's kind of even normalized these crimes, ironically. I told you guys not to be fucking weirdos about it. I told you, like I said, man, everyone yelling about this it's gonna be like a satanic panic and no one's gonna take you seriously. Could he win? Let's keep our eyes on the race. That's some crazy shit, dude. That's some crazy shit. Let's skip this, man. We can skip this. We'll save that. Skip this. All right, we have to get to this. This is the craziest thing. Glenn Beck, our wonderful Glenn Beck. Don't we love Glenn Beck, folks? We love Glenn Beck Because over here, we're a bunch of slaves, right?
This is exactly what I'm talking about, the slave mentality, the slave mind.
We love Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck, the head overseer on the conservative plantation. Massa Beck, don't hit me with the whip. We love Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck is the best. You may recall that. How you doing, Adrian? That Glenn Beck recently spoke to George Washington.
We live in hell. We live in the gutter.
Glenn Beck made AI
We live
George.
in hell. We live in the gutter. We live in hell. We live in the gutter.
Glenn Beck made AI George Washington, right? And he didn't interview him again. But let me read you the tweet. Would the founding fathers approve of Trump's war in Iran? I won't pretend to speak for them. Okay, all right. But in January, I sat down with George Washington AI and asked for its views. Ah! Oh my God. I laugh because I can't weep for my country. I'm out of tears. On foreign entanglements and military action, here's what it said. He's not speaking for him, of course not. Let's watch what George Washington AI thinks of our war with he's in the US Polo Association of America Olympic team.
George, we are trying to not fight foreign wars and not be involved in the world's policemen. But there are times that we have to demonstrate strength in order to prevent conflict. But I don't know where the foreign entanglement begins and where it ends.
When I was president, I did not crave power. I didn't strut in my uniform, dreaming of conquest. In fact, I begged several times to not be the general and not be the president. I didn't want it, but I understood my responsibility. And I also understood that some things that are easy to forget when you're staring down bayonets. Peace is not the default. It has to be guarded deliberately with foresight and strength. My generation lived through a fragile independence. Our new republic was surrounded, literally and figuratively, by instability. Most of the founders believed that we would not survive to 1820. We thought it was an interesting experiment. European powers were sniffing the opportunities, states were threatening to splinter, loyalists were lurking. None of this was hypothetical. It was the daily background noise of early America.
So how did you protect that freedom?
Well, you said it, through strength. Weakness didn't just invite disagreement, it invited disunion. And I had already seen what happens to authority when it is too diluted. The Continental Congress couldn't pay the troops, they couldn't enforce unity or act decisively. That kind of vacuum doesn't stay empty. Either chaos fills it or another power does.
What can you even say about this, man? What is there to say? We have Glenn Beck interviewing George Washington AI, and for some odd reason, I guess George Washington AI wants war with Iran. All right.
Say the M word. Go on.
If George Washington AI is like this, I'd rather ask him like different questions. If it's gonna be this ridiculous, why don't we ask him what he thinks about twerking or bottle service at 11? He's wearing a t-shirt. He might as well fucking tell us. This is insane. You're going to answers for you're going. Oh my God, dude! Like, this is crazy. This is literally crazy. This reminds me of, you know what led to this was I remember as a kid, conservatives used to say the founding fathers would be turning in their graves. So they decided to use a Ouija board to bring them to life, I guess. Glenn Beck, thank you for your service. Yeah, Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ. All right. Skip this. Skip this. All right. All right, that's enough of this, man. Oh no, well let's watch, because we're gonna mention him a little later today. Let's watch a little bit more of this genius here. The smartest guy in America, actually, Sneeko.
But I mean, look, it's like everywhere though. Sunbelt Rentals, own less, do more. Own less, do more. Fuck it out. Like, it's impossible. Once you start noticing, oh, be a good boy. Go buy it on Klarna. Go put it on your credit. You can't avoid it, dude. Own less, do more. Crazy.
Dude, I feel like what has happened recently is that you guys have all seen the They Live goggles, like in the movie They Live, where you see the real thing when you put them on. It's like they gave every low IQ streamer the retarded version of those goggles, like the dumbest goggles available. And they think they're really cooking something. I don't think Sneeko, I'm not sure Sneeko knows much about renting machinery. Whether you should want to own a excavator if you're a contractor, or if it's better to rent it. If you're a construction company, you probably don't want to own this stuff unless you're using it for depreciation. But that would require you to be a significant company to acquire all of this. And it's more liability than you get from just renting it. Spangler called this the falahin. This falahinism that we're seeing across the country of like, you need to own everything. This is how they're going to keep you a slave. This is literally slavery. So you need to buy an excavator now, Sneeko? Sneeko, when's the last time you went through a 10K? So you could tell me about the NYSC or a 10Q. When's the last time that you worked at a contractor that was building a house? When's the last time you spoke to a contractor who's building a house? These people, man, it's like they have the license to say anything, and they're putting on you, they're literally assaulting you. Like they are taking off your clothes and penetrating you with retardation. No, if you run a construction company, you probably should be happy that there's an ability of renting heavy machinery. You should probably be happy about that. I see Mr. Yu's talking about mortgages. Listen, when it comes to the personal, that's a little bit different. But even then, I'm becoming radical Klaus Schwab times 100. I don't even believe in owning a car anymore, dude. You got to be leasing that thing. There's no point to owning it anymore. They've never made it easier because the quality of the cars is shit and the prices are irresponsible. You might as well lease it. Ownership is slavery in a lot of ways. Maybe for the house, there's a little bit of a different argument, but rent keeps going down. So dude, yesterday we saw him chanting Shia chants, worst Sunni of all time. To all the Sunni bros out there must be losing their minds. But just, this is the face of the new American thought makers, the tastemakers, literal mental retards. All right, man, let's move on to my Gentiles. Let's see what my Gentiles are doing. Dude, I'm all in favor of 100-year mortgages, man. I'm really in favor. You know, the 50-year hasn't really come out. I'm completely in favor in that. And I understand the psychological break that wouldn't want people to have it. But, you can deduct all the interest, right? And you're going to be paying just interest for the first, 40 years of a 100-year mortgage. You can deduct that from your taxes. You're going to buy a house literally just to deduct from your taxes. And the rich people use it that way. Everyone else is I want to own the house. I want to pay it off. All right, pay it off. Pay off your house and see how insurance works. See, in Florida, if you're going to be able to be insured by a private insurer against hurricanes once you've paid off your house, you're not going to be able to. They don't allow it because they're retarded. All right, SLS, how you doing? All right, let's get to my Gentiles, man. How are my Gentiles doing?
The people are retarded.
Let's see here, man. Let's see what's going on here. And as usual, I always told you guys, this segment is not Gentile exclusive. Like myself, we have here a man of the Jewish faith, Randy Fine, owned by the Twinkie lobby, wearing his fight kippah. Says here, proud to wear my custom fight kippah today in Congress. President real Donald Trump is battling leftist Muslim terrorists and all who are seeking to destroy us, and he's not backing down one bit. I will never stop fighting alongside him. We must continue to fight, fight, fight. This is levels of brother. I'm not Jewish. I don't know how the Jewish thing works. Is this allowed in Judaism? Because this feels like worshiping the golden calf, like idol worship. Isn't this hat supposed, I don't know how it works, man. Isn't this hat supposed to remind you that there's a God above you? And you're literally putting a mortal man on your kippah. Randy Fine. What is this? Is the Jewish community going to condemn? This doesn't make any sense. I'm not a Jewish theologian. I'm not a rabbi. I don't know anything about it. But I feel like someone would take an issue with this. Right, Elu says Trump is the golden calf. Trump is the golden calf in this situation. Why would you do this? This is. My name is Toby Massa. That's literally, this is.
This is exactly what I'm talking about, the slave mentality, the slave mind.
I don't care how much you guys love Trump, dude. I haven't seen, but I'm sure it exists. Trump on a crucifix. I'm sure people are buying that shit. Wow. All right, let's continue. I wanted to show you this. Today at a congressional meeting, I don't keep up with this shit anymore, dude. This veteran, this Marine veteran broke in, or he started breaking out and screams about the war in Iran. And I had to show you this video. A lot of people said it was horrific, but I have another question on my mind here.
Ow. No one wants to fight for Israel!
His hand, his hand! Oh, his hand!
Sir. Let go of your hand. Let go of the door. Let go of the door. The senator broke his hand. A sitting U.S. senator just broke the hand of a Marine. Sir. Control your Senate. We're stuck in the door. Okay, sir. A U.S. senator just broke the hand of a Marine. Hand's stuck. A U.S. senator just broke the hand of a Marine. You're a coward. Punk. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Why do you say that? Senator? Go fuck yourself. You were a shit seal. That's why you got kicked out. Fat ass.
Everybody sit down, please. Sit down, please. Everybody sit down, please. Everybody sit down, please.
I'm getting out of here.
That's fine. Everybody sit down, please. Is your hand okay? Okay.
No, it's not.
This is disgusting. Disgusting.
Just pull it out.
Disgusting.
I don't know which senator this was. Okay. Senator Sheehy. I hadn't heard of him. Now, my question is, I understand people are mad and everything. And sure, we can focus on that. Look, man, I'm not going to defend the police. You guys know how I feel about the police, but what is this guy's workout routine? How is, dude, this is, what kind of grip strength do you have? How many pull-ups can this guy crank? I am more, everyone's like, oh, the politics. I'm here like, God damn, dude, what are they feeding our Marines? He's standing there with a broken forearm, completely cracked. He's not even crying. How the hell, what are they feeding them? This is a recruitment video if I've ever seen one. God damn, dude. If I could get this ability from being a Marine, how the hell do you do that? What kind of pull? Listen, man, I don't front here. I can max crank out 3 to 4 pull-ups. Max. How the hell are our Marines? Iran, look at this. I know he's against the war. They're going to kill you. This is crazy shit. How do you... I need the workout plan, dude. I need the workout. How are they doing this? Is this creatine? Is he on that trend? Because he doesn't even look that jacked. But I know he's wiry down there. How the hell? What is his... Is he supersetting or something? God damn, man. All right, let's continue. Crazy stuff. Let's look at the libs. Let's check in on the libs. My God. I'll say it again, man. We need mandatory Ozempic in this country. I don't know for sure because I'm not a music guy. I'm not familiar with all the music. Is this like a modification of a Negro spiritual here? Because it has the rhythm like wade in the water. By the way, that's not a bad word, especially when you say it in that context, all right? For any pussies out there. That's what that genre of music is called. Say it once, say it twice. We will lift every voice and sing. The libs are doing Negro spirituals now to protest ICE. And look at this crowd, man. Look at this crowd. Look at this. You know what sucks is that RFK became political. Look at this young lady here. There's no excuse to. Then what is that? 250? 270? There's no excuse. And you get to shame people now because Ozempic cost $1,200 and you can put it on Klarna. You will put up with ICE because you can't run a hour mile. And they're doing it in a church. I am, bro, the liberals have gone a little kooky, man. Liberals. I wanted to show you this too, man. This is one of these accounts. This one's called the Rubber Duck. Has 188,000 followers, okay? There's a lot of these now, bro. These are like schizo accounts. These are people that amassed a ton of followers and they started a news show, okay? But these news shows are like wish casting or they're like it's like Coast to Coast with Art Bell, if anyone's old enough to remember that. You know, AM radio, Tales from the Crypt type shit. Let's listen to how many people? 500,000 people, 25,000 likes. People believe about El Mencho, the cartel leader who was killed last month.
But he claims that the cartel leader El Mencho, who was just killed, had a list of all the different world leaders that were on it and who was trying to get children. Because the drug traffickers make more money at trafficking children, and he has a list of world leaders and powerful people who are asking for certain kids and ages and types, and that list is what they're trying to protect right now.
One of the things that's going to become shocking out of Mencho is we have collected now the intel, the data on his computers and other data communication system. He has a list, 221, as I think it's counting, of all those global leaders, including many in the United States, who are placing their preference in their order in what kind of child they want to be trafficked across the border. So
is that going to go public? Because that's important that it gets.
It is. If there's anything I can do about it, Sarah, you better believe it's going to be public. But it's the same thing as the Epstein file. They are even now, as we're speaking, figuring out how to shut me up. How do we do it to where we hold people accountable, but still keep the system from collapsing, as you talked about earlier? We have to base our decisions on principle, not on what is expedient.
This would make Lyndon LaRouche blush, man.
We live in hell. We live in the gutter.
I've been to some of the John Birch Society meetings. I have. Because I like to talk to everyone. Okay, I like to talk to everyone. I've been to the DSA meetings. I've been to the JBS meetings. Been to all the meetings. Okay, I've been to them. This is Bircher shit, man. I don't know. We have any Birchers in here? Look, the Birchers, they did some good research. I like the Bircher research on Latin America. It was pretty good. But they were also crazy. And I understand that there's a lot of this talk about Epstein, and I get it. I'm not saying any of that is right or wrong here. But what I can kind of, with confidence and ignorance, tell you right now is I don't think that El Mencho, who was the head of a drug empire, was trying to pick up pennies in front of a steamroller and selling children to U.S. congressmen. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I think that the human trafficking the cartel does is getting people across the border. How much more money do you think? You know they have like real investments, right? They own avocado farms and shit. Hotels. Why would they do this? No one asked the question, why? Why would he do that? Why? It's lucrative. Okay, he's also a billionaire. So, if you told me that he was like banging kids, okay, that's something else. You're telling me that he's selling children to Congress. And these pages have thousands of followers, man. Wasn't LaRouche the JBS founder, Mr. Elu? I thought it was LaRouche. I just, this kind of stuff, man, this is not good for our society. Just, why can't we just accept that a drug dealer was killed? Let's watch here, man. This is great stuff, man. Let's see the evolution of this young lady here. I don't want any Woods in chat. I don't want any gooning. I don't want any edging right now. Okay, we're just trying to see here the political evolution of a young lady.
I actually notice that all of my hate for Israel and the government and once in a while Jewish people actually never came from Israel. It actually just came from the top pro-Israel, pro-Jewish commentators in the movement. They're actually the most annoying, hypocritical, sellout pieces of shit in this industry, and I'm glad a lot of them weren't there because I don't want to see them. And I'll probably name them by names eventually, but I notice what they do to everyone in this industry.
All this in the TPUSA shirt.
I posted on X and it went viral after like you'll see, I literally posted like 3 pro-Israel things yesterday. It's like, it's never going to stop. And I have no loyalty to Qatar either. What they do, and Dave Smith called it out when he was debating Josh, whatever his name is. He was like, we come up here to debate policy and things like that. You come up here to debate our character. And they're very quick to be like, hey, we're going to take everything from you unless you're unapologetically with us. And also, this is why so many people in the movement have turned. This is why the right's breaking up. And it's one of those things where I'm just like, I said, I have made a career off of criticizing the president and the government and America. I made a career off of that, off of shit on America and things I don't like. And also talking about how great it is. I was never once called anti-American.
Okay, so this was last year in December. Where's this young lady at today?
I think I can safely say I've reached the final tier of like the red pilling process where it's like, I'm at the clear pill. I'm at the retard pill. Because I have all this information.
With the baby in a car.
And there's it doesn't matter how much you know because there's nothing you can do about it. So.
Yes, thank you. Fine. Dude, what is going on here? This is great stuff.
It's like, dude, everything is fucking fake. Our presidents are literally chosen for us. Our elections are fucking rigged and literally don't matter anymore. Jeffrey Epstein somehow won the Powerball twice. The fucking lottery's fake. The Rothschilds wrote all the fucking books. Our history's fucking a complete fucking lie, the deeper you get into that. Everyone they said was evil and fucking crazy actually kind of I think, had some fucking points. And then all the people that have been accusing people of doing evil shit were the most evil fucking people the whole time. So you know what? Just fucking log off. Who cares? Just go enjoy your life. There's nothing's gonna happen to these people. They're just fucking with us at this point. Both sides are fucking shit.
Yes, yes, yes. I love to see the King Leo as well as the clavicular message being spoken. It's time, man. I don't endorse everything she was saying there, but what I 100% endorse, it's time to log off. And if you're not going to, you gotta do it how we do it here, man. You gotta sit back, smoke your cigar, you know, I fucking hate this thing. Hit your vape and laugh at the end. Like, why are you taking it? Why so serious? Why so serious? I hope more people do this, man. This is one less person that you're going to have to be harassed by at the grocery store telling you about how dinosaurs still exist or something. Log off. Thank you. If Sneeko did this, oh my God, it would be excellent. This is what we need. We need this spirit. We need this Baudrillard maxing. Absolutely. History's a lie. It's all fake. Yes, it's time that and when you realize it's a lie, that's when you can start playing in the game. Because they know it. Everyone knows it except you. It's about time, dude. I only see this young lady, me, and Clavicular pushing this message. Great minds, great minds. Let's get that. Let's watch here some. This is great stuff, dude. This young man has been on a roll. Let's watch him here. I've been yelling this at Mike in traffic all day as well.
Benjamin Netanyahu! The new Ayatollah has been revealed to be in this red Ford Ranger that just cut me off. If you can hear me now, please dispatch every available Israeli F-35 to my location to establish air superiority and send him to hell where he belongs!
I told you, man, it's going to happen. At some point, people are going to start saying, Benjamin Netanyahu, I need to win the lottery. Please give me the numbers, Bibi. Please. If Bibi opened a Chinese restaurant with fortune cookies, he'd be a fucking millionaire. I'd be in there all day fucking ordering a meal just to get the cookie. What are the lottery numbers? Perfect. I got this one, And you're going to win it at some point. It's about time, man. It's about time people realize the man doesn't lose, man. Whether you love him or hate him, he does not lose. He doesn't lose. Let's look at the slop people are making about this Iran thing, man. This is just crazy stuff. We got to support our troops, guys. Yes, that is the Rizzler. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And finally, I have to show you this. This goes a little longer here. I'm glad we're making good time. Tucker Carlson's multi-million-dollar Alp nicotine shipment was hijacked. What?
You gotta what? You gotta rob me?
Are we in The Sopranos? They hijacked his truck. Let's look at the video. What? TMZ reporting here. Look at this. Look at this. That's his truck getting hijacked. And the reason I want to talk to you guys about this for a brief moment is this. I'm a nicotine fan, man. I've always been a nicotine fan. Started smoking probably when I was 15 years old. I love it. I'm never going to give it up. Don't ask me to give it up. I don't care. I love it. I love smoking. I love cigars. I like cigarettes. I love smoking. It's the greatest thing that has ever been made. I'll vape. I'll use snooze. I'll use snuff. But, big but. And for long-time viewers of the channel, you know I used to be over here pounding them Zins, 8 milligrams. I have bad news. I thought this was a free lunch, these nicotine salts. I thought that it was just a cool way of being discreet. However, I've learned through my research that actually, because everyone starts off with a 2 milligrams in, right? And they go there. Not me. I started heavy, dude, because I was already smoking, right? Started heavy. But everyone starts with a 2 milligram. They go, oh, Tucker does this shit. Oh, bro, and then slowly you move up and up from the 4 to the 8. And then eventually you're on some weird Russian website ordering Russian Zin that has 25 milligrams. And guess what? They are delicious. They are delicious. I do love a British Zin that is 25 milligrams. However, they spike your cortisol. I'm not even fucking around, dude. I learned this. I asked Gemini if it was better to smoke cigarettes or use any sort of nicotine pouch that's salt-based in terms of your health. And it is better to use cigarettes, not medical advice, than to be popping these Zins. Why? Because they raise your cortisol. And when they raise your cortisol, they tank your test. They raise your estrogen. It is not good for you, man. You develop all sorts of problems because of a hormone imbalance that comes from these Zins. So when I see Tucker Carlson out here, who's been shilling this stuff for years and eventually made his own pack, Tucker Carlson, who's a friend of Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, your Zins are making the freaking frogs gay. Brother, I got off them. I was like, there's no way that smoking is less bad. And it is less bad than using Zin. Zin is a very, very high amount of nicotine that you use repeatedly, and it spikes your cortisol, makes you hungry, and drops your test. So, whoever did this to Tucker's truck can't endorse crime on this channel. However, get those Zins off our streets, man. They're not good for our children. All right, let's get to the show. How you doing, Full Hat? Absolutely, Mr. Elu. Dude, cortisol maxing can result in the development of gynecomastia in men because you raise your you lower your testosterone and raise your estrogen. And there's no going back from that. There's no going back. Literally, you have to get surgery for gynecomastia. You cannot cure it. And we're seeing a huge rise in it across the West. And it's partially because of the food, sure, and birth control, but it is this Zin stuff as well. It is not good for you. And I understand if you drop your testosterone, it is good for your hair. But guys, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Also, those hair pills, apparently, finasteride and all that, they actually can give you gynecomastia as well. Crazy stuff. All right, let's go. We have a lot to get through. Let's start with Iran. Okay. Again, this is a fog of war. Let's get some fog. This is a fog of war special. We don't know what's real and what's not. Take that all with a grain of salt. Ladies and gentlemen, take it all. No, Mr. Elu, you cannot work out gynecomastia, sir, because gynecomastia happens when you trigger a gland that grows and you cannot take it out. I'm sorry, you cannot work it out. You literally have to go into surgery and get it removed, and it sucks. But actually, I learned this recently. The trans movement has made it less stigmatized and cheaper as a service, and it's actually all over the U.S. So it's not a death sentence anymore. All right, listen. We have to talk about this war in Iran. Very serious time here, okay? But I'm only going to cover the stuff that is actually like worth looking at, all right? I'm not going to sit here and give you an update because we don't know what's actually happening. So first thing I want to cover is this. This Iranian ship was in the Indian Ocean. Let's watch what happened here. And this is the White House that tweeted it out. And it was sunk by a submarine.
In the Indian Ocean, and we'll play it on the screen there, an American submarine sunk an Iranian warship that thought it was safe in international waters. Instead, it was sunk by a torpedo. Quiet death. The first sinking of an enemy ship by a torpedo since World War II. Like in that war, back when we were still the War Department, we are fighting to win.
And a lot of people were angry about this. I saw online. People were saying this is a war crime because the submarine didn't stick around to pick up people that had died. Listen, my grandpa was a sailor in Chile. Before he, like, I guess he was always like a captain and shit. He was fucking higher up. So I know the law of the maritime law. I know that's true. However, I will make an exception here, which is this. And this is not in support or against the Iranian war. If you are getting sunk with World War II tactics, you might be too retarded to live. You literally might. This is the first time, I confirmed it since World War II, that a torpedo from a sub has sank a boat. You are literally the dumbest country on the planet. I would have thought this would happen to Cuba or Venezuela or something first. You know, a real third world country. Iran is so incompetent that they're getting hit with the World War II tactics. And they're working. We might as well put fucking cannons on our boats. These people are, dude, if you're Jackson Hinkle right now, you must want to kill yourself. This is ridiculous. You are supporting the most ridiculous country in the world. I'm not here to support the US or anything. This is analysis. And the analysis here is this. If you are still being sunk with World War II tactics, pack it up, buddy. Turn over the keys. Pass for keys. Here's the keys, Donald Trump. I'm out of here. I'm getting sunk like it's World War II. I guess they don't have any hard men over there. Where's our hard men?
I like to get a bunch of men together.
Okay.
Men that are the hardest of the hard. And I want to be with these men.
They don't have hard men over there in Iran. They don't. They don't. How you doing? I and everything. Get wrecked, Iran. Yeah. Yeah. How you doing, ex-Cadler? Haven't seen you here before. We're going to get to Fuentes. Hi, Dolino. How you doing? Wasn't that ship there on some kind of ceremonial event in Sri Lanka? Yes, that's what I heard as well, Buddy Dolindo. But that's even less of an excuse. Why are you doing ceremonial events in international waters? You're at war, retard! You're at war!
Oh, I get it. You're retarded.
You are at war right now, dude. You're at war, and you're at war. What is going on here? You're literally in a war. I'm not calling you retarded, Buddy Dolindo. I'm calling Iran retarded. You are at war. You're at war. You're at war. There is no ceremonial events. That boat should be in Iran to sink boats. Your navy doesn't exist. Why do you have this one over here? What is this? Dude, who are they fighting? These are the dumbest. All right. And they asked Mr. Fetterman here, of course, dressed like a slob, how he felt about this. Let's see how he felt about it.
Hey there, Senator. How you doing? I was wondering what you made of the Department of War's sinking of an Iranian naval ship today.
Oh, I want to offer condolences to your boss. I know he's all broke up about the Ayatollah. Was,
who's our boss?
What?
Who's our boss?
Huh?
You're offering your condolences to my boss?
Yeah. No. What I'm saying though, it's like I know who you work for. It's very anti-Israel. And
we just reported a humanitarian loss, sir.
He's very anti-Israel, and I'm very pro-Israel, so we can agree and disagree on things.
Sure. Do you think it's okay for the U.S. to bomb an Iranian naval ship in international waters?
I think the world's better that he's dead now, and I think it's a good thing now that Iran will never acquire a nuclear bomb.
What about the naval ship today, though?
Reliable trails to have that, and if they think it's a good idea to have a nuclear bomb, really disagree on that.
Is it okay for the U.S. to bomb naval ships without a declaration of war, though?
I'm sorry. I support killing
the Iranian leadership.
I'm not talking about leadership, sir.
Why wasn't he upset about the way they killed all the Iranians?
Senator.
Why wasn't he upset about? He wasn't angry about
Who's he?
killing the thousands of young Iranians. He didn't seem bothered by that.
Who's he, Senator?
So, firstly, I would say this is that John Fetterman really surprises me here, because John Fetterman, I didn't realize he's like America's Diane Abbott. Is that her name? The fat lady from the UK, the one who wore 2 left shoes one time to Parliament? It's Diane Abbott, right? I think he is too dumb to get caught in a trap. This ability, dude, I want to develop this because I have it, but I don't have it perfectly. And Latinos are good at it. I have no excuse where they just stick to the party line. Like if you're a Latino, I don't know, you're a Latino and someone leaves you in. That's why Latinos, Mexicans in particular, are the worst meter maids in California. They are going to ticket you any time of the day because, sir, come on, I was here for 5 minutes. Give me, sir, no, sit here, you know, and no. But my kid is, sir, but I have to get to the hospital. Sir, excuse me, one second. Señor, un momento. Ticket here. Here, take your ticket. Dude, this is like crazy levels. What is this ability called? Like just to just stick to the party line. I need to develop this. I need to develop this. And I know it's in my genes. We're good at this, the Latinos. The Spaniards are good at it too. And everything says, I've been seeing the Chinese protester on my feed saying Iran was going to win. He was on breaking points. Brother, we're going to talk about Professor Jiang. We're going to talk about him tonight. All right. And now, in further insanity, man, I want you to watch this clip and then I'll give you the context. Look at these bombs that are going off over Iran. Okay, look at these bombs.
What?
Now look, for the peaceniks, you know, very tragic. It's a war. Do you know what they're dropping these bombs from? They are dropping them from B-52s. A technology so old that one of the best rock groups of the last century was named after it in the 60s. Their air defense is so crippled that America is now using World War II planes to bomb the shit out of them. Dude, if you're Iranian, I don't even know how you respond to this. Like, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing for you, man. B-52s, ridiculous. All right, let's continue. I wanted to show you here. I think you guys might appreciate this. This is a young communist woman here who is lamenting the loss of the Ayatollah.
There is a Holocaust right now on Muslims, and the equivalent of the Pope, the Ayatollah, has been martyred. It doesn't matter what you think of the Ayatollah. It is a psychological warfare on Muslims. The attack on Iran is the Holocaust expanding to a new territory. This is an attack on Muslims. This is an attack on the Muslim faith. It is a spiritual attack. I, myself, believe in energies and stuff like that. I'm not exactly religious, but I do understand that this is a big deal. This is a big deal. The Ayatollah has now become a symbol. It's become a symbol of resistance. And what the imperialist West thought what was going to happen, that people would lose faith, people that would feel hopeless, has done the exact opposite. The Ayatollah was slain in his duties.
That's enough. We're talking about energies. What is this, Tucker Carlson over here? Energies, demons, etc. Listen, man, I'm not telling you who to support or who not to support. Who are you going to support in the big war? Be sure to like if you like. Be sure to like if you support America, or leave a comment to express your support for Iran. Listen. What I do appreciate about this young lady, that this is true. I've been wondering this, man. When they killed the Ayatollah, I was like, dude, this is like if they killed the Pope. It's literally that. This is like if they kill the King of England, he's the Pope for the English people. That's a big fucking deal. And no one cares anymore. No one remembers. This is crazy shit. Okay? Now, as a communist, I don't really, I guess it's like an anti-imperialist thing, but, hey, my commies, what happened, bro? We used to be atheists. Leaving that aside. Except in Latin America. Latin American communists, in Nicaragua specifically, and Venezuela, they were not atheists. Okay? They couldn't win being atheists. I don't understand how, look, man, young lady, listen, I get it, okay? I get it. You're sad about the Ayatollah. They're literally blowing up the country with World War II planes. Like, this is just, I'm sorry, dude. Guys, again, this is an analysis channel. When your country's being bombed with World War II planes, it's over. They might as well start sending the fucking Wright brothers planes with Molotovs or something. This is ridiculous. Like, I don't understand how anyone can look at this and not come to the conclusion that, guys, I get it. Look, man, China's fucked from this, and I like China, okay? But this is the most pathetic anti-American regime I've seen in my life. They didn't get the nuke. They are not good at anything. They are fundamentally stupid. They attacked their own ally, Oman, and then issued like a fake apology. These guys, dude, I'm not getting in the way. If you're going to lose, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. Like, you are ridiculous. You're ridiculous. And I see Mr. Yu says, I guess in theory, the hardliners could take over. Dude, if I was a hardliner right now, I guess they're different, right? Because they're hardliners, but I'd kind of be shitting my pants. I really would be shitting my pants. Because they killed the Ayatollah. Like, the Ayatollah got killed. And we went over it this week. The Ayatollah got killed because he didn't go in the right bunker. Like, he got his whole family killed. This is not, I wouldn't lionize this guy, dude. I don't lionize people that get their whole family killed. Maybe I'm just a little bit more pragmatic than that, but if you got all your grandkids killed, I don't really feel it, And everything says white leftist women are not beating their allegations that they are retarded. Dude, I see a lot of opinions on this conflict from people that seem to be either underinformed or more, and I'm not super informed on this, but I try my best, but that are like they are emotionally attached to this conflict. And I'm not really emotionally attached to anything because I'm dead inside, I'm a Baudrillardian, but it does make your judgment a little bit crazy. It does make it a little bit crazy. Let's watch here this TikTok that the White House posted today. Was this today? No, this was yesterday. In the wake of this war. What else can I say besides I'm guided by the beauty of our weapons, man? I really didn't think America had that dog in them, dude. I didn't know this little plane was this fucking crazy, man. Remember when Cornel West told you needed to resist imperialism? I'm not going to fight the F-35. Dude, I am literally scared of this thing. I don't want to be anywhere near one. I don't want to see it, and I wouldn't because it's invisible. I don't want to see this thing. I don't want to know it exists. This is the Sumerian technology Candace Owens was talking about. And they're making edits of I'm guided by the beauty of our weapons, man. The only thing I hope is, I'm sure it's classified who designed this plane. I'm sure it's classified, but I just hope that for like personal stake, you know, that a Latino was on the team, so I could maybe 40 years from now we'll know who designed the F-35 and the F-22, and it's like, holy shit, Sergio Sanchez designed a little bit of the wing. Yes, we are the greatest. This is crazy shit. I don't know how we fucking do. Dude, I have the passport, man. I'm an American. I'm guided by the beauty of our weapons. And by the way, Eve says China will yield, but God will not allow China to lose, in my opinion. The thing is, Eves, I'm not disagreeing, but I'm just wondering what China's going to do in the place of oil. Oil is the big issue here. The spice must flow. And Russia is not going to be nice to China on the oil front. And oil hit $100 a barrel this year, which is a big cha-ching for the United States fracking industry and for the Venezuelan industry that the United States is rebuilding and owns. So I think the United States can live with that in the long term. In the short term, maybe it hurts a little bit, but I don't think that it's going to hurt in the long term. Same with the natural gas prices. I literally fought with Grok today about it. I was like, natural gas is a byproduct. Okay, today Qatar shut off all their liquefied natural gas. The top exporter of natural gas in the world is the United States. And we can always export more, and Canada can export more. And sure, we don't have the technology to liquefy it quickly, but within a year, we'll have it. So this is never going to happen again, in my view. But I think it's a good point, sir. I think it's a good point. Let's watch here our favorite heterosexual senator, Mr. Graham.
Enact their agenda. They want to purify Islam. They want to destroy Saudi Arabian Sunni Islam and then replace it with Shia Islam. That's what they say, not what I say.
Bismillah. Miss Senator Graham has found the word of Allah. What? Bismillah, Bismillah. Allahu Akbar. Mr. Graham over here has decided to leave behind his homosexual tendencies and become a Sunni Muslim. What? Senator Graham is standing up for the custodian of the two holy mosques, Saudi Arabia, in its claim to the true Islam, the true faith. Allahu Akbar. Okay. You know what this reminds me of? And I'm still confused by this. I remember, they don't do it as much anymore. Do you guys remember when they would talk about the Uyghurs in China? In China. They were always like, the Uyghurs, you know, they're being abused in China. And my producer's the one who told me this one day. He was like, hang on, wait. They want me to feel bad for, and my producer is a Muslim background. You know, he goes, they want me and you to feel bad for Chinese people who are Muslim. The two people that we have been told to hate for 20 years minimum. I'm not buying that one. That one doesn't pass the smell test for me. And I was like, all right, you know. I want to show you this too. This is a popular YouTuber, Vidias Panayiotou, who like memed his way into the EU membership for Cyprus, his home country. I wanted to play a little bit of this here.
Iran has just attacked a British military base in my country, Cyprus. Yes, guys, an Iranian drone struck the British base of Akrotiri in Cyprus in the middle of the night, forcing evacuations and sparking unrest among local citizens. As a member of the European Parliament from Cyprus, I strongly condemn this attack. The main reason why Cyprus was threatened by Iran is because the Prime Minister of UK, Keir Starmer, allowed the Americans to use the British military bases in Cyprus for their war against Iran. UK didn't communicate this correctly with the government of Cyprus, which is something completely unacceptable. But you might think, why does Cyprus even have British military bases? Well, when Cyprus got its independence from the British in 1960, they basically forced us to give them these two territories for military bases. The fact that this still happens in 2026 is a sign of colonialism.
All right, and that's where we stop. I am tired, and I understand why. Fake countries don't get to tell me what to do. They don't get to tell anyone. Listen, man, I don't want to hear about it if you're Panamanian, Kosovan, Taiwanese, Belizean, Guyanian. What are the other fake countries, man? Cyprus. Half of your country is occupied by Turkey, and you're talking about colonialism? Cyprus, Andorra, what else? Liechtenstein, Monaco. Listen, dude, it's about time that people have this conversation. I don't know if we have any Cypriots in the chat. Guys, it's a fake country. It's not a real country. I'm sorry. Listen, man, I'm sorry. I was born in a real country, the United States, and my parents are from real countries, which are Venezuela and Chile. Your countries are not real. Your countries are fake. Everyone at the UN that's from a real country looks at the fake country and goes, dude, even if you support Taiwan, you're like, you're a fake country. You know you're a fake country, right? Like, you're not a real country. You're not a real country. Lithuania, okay, you're a real country, maybe. Finland's definitely a real country. Cyprus, you're not a real country. You're not a real country. I'm sorry, you're not. You're not, dude. Half your country's occupied by Turkey. You don't get... Fake countries don't get to do this stuff. No, this is not colonialism. This is the fact that you're a fake country. And no one actually believes in you. I don't mean to be offensive here, but I'm not going to hear what some Panamanian has to say about anything, because your country was literally invented for a canal by America. Okay, you're part of Colombia. You're not a real country. Belize, you're part of Guatemala. You're not a real country. All right, and I'm in the UN. Yeah, so is Somaliland. All right, and that's not a real country either. Let's all chill out here with our South Sudan. Yeah, you're a real country, South Sudan. You're like, what, 20 years old? Very, very real. Ridiculous, dude. This war is bringing out all the fake countries. Excuse me, I'm from the fake country delegation of the United Nations, and I would like to make a statement. You're a fake country. You're not a real country. I'm sorry. It's not a real country. All right. I don't want to hear from fake countries. Fake countries. All right. I think that's almost enough, but we have to show here. Speaking of the UN, let's see the master Persian negotiator, the Iranian representative, who asked us before to be a little bit more polite. Real diplomacy there, asking to be more polite. You're getting bombed, retard, but you're asking to be polite.
I'm not going to dignify this with another response. As this representative sits here in this body, representing a regime that has killed tens of thousands.
We missed this part. This is why I'm playing it.
Of its own people, and imprisoned many more simply for wanting freedom from your tyranny.
You know, I'm going to be kind here, but it wouldn't surprise me if this guy ends up knocking on our door for asylum. This regime is falling apart. And they have abused, imprisoned, tortured their own people for far too long. They've threatened the world for far too long, and they've killed. And as a veteran, well, I can tell you as a veteran how many American soldiers that the Iranians have killed, either at their hands or at their proxies. I'm a Green Beret, not my first firefight, and he should be careful with his words sitting on American soil, and I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, all right. We are threatening the UN delegation now, and why wouldn't America, honestly, man? We're bombing you with B-52s, buddy. You don't get to fucking show out over here. So, all right, that's our diplomacy. I'm edging you guys. I'm edging you a little. Before we get to Nick, we have to do a quick catch-up on what's happening in Latin America. So let's start over here, because this war, no one's looking at the back burner, okay? This happened on the 3rd. There was a anti-narco terrorist operation announced in Ecuador. For those unaware, Ecuador has like this bachelor president who's married to some supermodel right now, who's a total like shucking and jiving for America guy. That's just the way it is, you know. Ecuador's never been done too well in Latin America. But all right, they started obviously cooperating with the Department of War yesterday with this operation. You can see I'm guided by the beauty of our weapons, fellas. Wake up, Mom. They made Sicario into real life. All right, so Southern Command, which is 20 minutes from my house. I was actually going to get a job there, but I never did. That was back in the day when I wanted to join the USG. back when I was like 19. It's like 20 minutes from my house, dude. It's in Doral. All right. But importantly today, Ecuador announced that they are expelling the Cuban delegation. They are persona non grata. And here we have footage of the Cuban delegation burning documents before they leave. Which some people make more out of it. I assume this is just pretty standard practice for a embassy. However, what's important is this. Where do I have this? I have this over here. No, I have this over here. Is this article today in Bloomberg, and I confirmed this with people I know in Cuba. 2/3 of Cuba, of the whole country, not just Havana, was hit with the, for lack of a better word, the Goy beam. And they don't have power. They literally ran out of power. When this was first announced, I was like, God damn, dude, the Americans are going to move in. But it doesn't seem like that's what happened. It literally seems like they do not have petroleum anymore. Now, private citizens that I know over there, they have generators and shit. So it's still hard because it's hard to get petroleum because there's an embargo on petroleum right now. But, they can make do. Cuba it's not doing well, dude. It's not doing well. They are, as I showed yesterday, the Cuban opposition on the island and abroad has signed a memorandum to continue. Havana Syndrome, too. Also, I guess Havana Syndrome. And Havana Syndrome. Whatever was that? And yeah, dude, like this is a big problem. It's unfortunate because, listen, like whether you agree or disagree with U.S. intervention, and at the end of the day, I blame the incompetence of the Cuban government. Like this is impossible, man. You live in the Caribbean. How do you not have solar panels as backups? China would have given them to you for free. A lot of people's medicine goes bad. A lot of people's food goes bad, and it's unfortunate. So prayers to the people in Cuba. Hopefully this gets better. But in Venezuela today, we had a crazy event here where, as I keep mentioning, guys, Diosdado Cabello, the number 2 in Venezuela, who has his own personal army, he's still wanted by the DEA. He has the same arrest warrant or a similar one that Mr. Maduro had. And it's been very not on the up and ups, knowing what actually happened. On that night, Marco Rubio said they were going to go after him, but they couldn't. He kind of implicitly admitted it, but he didn't. And everyone's been wondering because he's still doing his YouTube show called With the Stick Hitting, just castigating the opposition, putting up the strongman thing. But today the U.S. delegation went down there to meet with Delcy, and he was right there with him, dude. This is like if, this is literally like if UBL was sitting down with the American delegation and the president of Afghanistan. This is crazy shit. Thank you, X. I appreciate that, sir. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you're new here, guys. And catch up with the show tomorrow, sir. I think you were here for Fuentes. We're going to talk about that real soon. This is pretty wild, dude. Is it acquiescing? What's actually happening? I'm not sure, and you don't know either. In Venezuela, the people that I know, they don't know either what's going on. And here, Delcy came out and actually thanked Donald Trump. And by the way, Delcy speaks English, by the way. She just doesn't do it in public.
Agradecer al presidente de los Estados Unidos, Donald Trump, que en medio de nuestra reunión escribió un post, saludando lo que es esta agenda de trabajo entre el gobierno de los Estados Unidos y el gobierno de Venezuela. Como lo habíamos mencionado y resaltado, el gobierno de Venezuela está a la...
I literally forget to translate. I'm sorry. Essentially, what she says is that the government of Venezuela is at full disposition to the United States. Total cucking. It's completely over. And we can catch up with this. This is Spain. We have to move on. All right. I edged you enough. Let's get to Mr. Fuentes. Mr. Fuentes, bring me a dream. All right. We have to talk to about Mr. Fuentes. And before we do, I think it's best if we play a clip of Ben Shapiro, who is probably the best representative of the conservative movement at this time, the neoconservative movement, whatever you want to call it, okay? Here he is talking about the war in Iran, about the tactics that should be employed. Let's hear him out.
What will the Iranian government do? What will the Ayatollahs do? Well, they have one play and one play only. One play.
Oh, Mr. Elu's asking. I see here asking about the woman. Dude, I don't know, bro. This is Brave. It's literally gone. When you open a new tab, it just has like a random picture. Yeah, see? It's just different people. I use Brave. Brave is the best browser, guys. I'm a Brave shill. So let's continue.
And that is they are counting on the cuck coalition. They are counting on the lying left in the United States and the horseshoe right to undermine the United States and Israel right here. That is the entire game.
That's really what we need. As you can see, Ben Shapiro is drawing a line here and saying that the cuck coalition of leftists and the horseshoe right, meaning the Groyper types, are being used by the Ayatollah, the new one, I guess. The new Ayatollah is literally texting Mr. James Fishback, hey, I need you, Mr. Fishback, I need you to please write this on your Twitter, sir. I can't do a Persian accent. I guess I have to do PBD. I'm a numbers guy. Okay? I'm a numbers guy, Mr. James Fishback. I need you to come out and condemn the attack on Iran. They probably all talk like that. So here we have Mr. Fuentes, who's he did an appearance on Alex Jones, and he's actually distancing himself from the Republican Party, which he had already previously done. He did not endorse Trump and did not vote in this last election. But now I think he's actually telling people to vote for Democrats. So let's watch him here on Alex Jones. This was a very emotional interview for Alex Jones, it seems like, where he's coming to accept, supposedly, I don't trust Alex Jones as far as I could throw him, that Donald Trump is working at the behest or with Benjamin Netanyahu.
And I'm watching it sink by its own doing. And so this is horrifying. And so, but I can't sign on to covering up Epstein. I can't sign on to World War III. And so that's why I tried to promote the optimism, because I fucking need this, man. Like, I want to fix the country. I want to turn it around. So it's not that I was delusional. I still hope we can turn it around, but I just, sorry, go ahead. You get what I'm saying?
I get it. And listen, like I said, I don't think that everybody that supported Trump was being dismissive about these concerns. I get it. You know, we all wanted to believe. I was 18 years old when Trump ran in 2016. And I remember getting in fights with people. This is my whole life too. At 18 years old, I wore the MAGA hat at Boston University, one of the most liberal campuses in the country, and became a pariah on my college campus. It's sad to see something you sacrificed.
It's sad to see something you fought and bled for die.
Yeah, and that's my whole adult life. I know that's a huge part of your life also, and now we're witnessing it's totally unraveling. It's an utter and complete betrayal. It's heartbreaking in many ways.
And when I try to salvage it with people, I get attacked as a liberal, which is when these people doing that can't even find Iran on a fucking map.
Yeah, well, what's called for is for us to be sober-minded about the entire thing, because there's a lot of Trump haters.
I've been a realist the whole time, but was hoping, and now I'm just not even hoping. I'm just going to be a realist.
Yeah, I mean, and really, it's okay to have hope. I mean, we hope for a better future, but we got to be brutally honest about what this administration has become.
And so I saw someone mention him in the chat. Richard Spencer did this, I think like 5 years ago already. Richard Spencer was one of the first people to say, hey man, I think voting for Democrats is probably better for the interests of mine, okay? And I'm not sure if Richard Spencer would put it as the interests of white people, because Richard Spencer, he should make a video called like 5 ways the Antifa punch changed my mind, stuff like that, because he's probably one of the more rational people on the political landscape right now, okay? And Mr. Fuentes here is kind of approaching that. And I actually saw Richard today spoke about it, and he said that he kind of set the trend and he took the slings and arrows for him. And now Mr. Fuentes can do the same. And I have to say that I've always wondered this during the woke movement, and my producer as well, where we were like, if the white people are so angry with the Republicans, like the Republicans are cucking us, they're not really our thing, like people who are more like Wignat adjacent and all this, why don't they just become Democrats and take over that party? So, and we're both minorities, and we're wondering, why wouldn't you do that just strategically? I'm not thinking even in terms of results, just strategically, why wouldn't you do that? So, but it doesn't end there, because this has been all week, okay? Here he is again on Mr. Jones' show talking about this.
We have a full sales job now by Netanyahu, Trump, and now Vance. We have the clips that it may last a little while, a long time, it may last forever. We're being sold on a forever war right now. Here's my problem. I don't want the Democrats opening the border. I like Trump killing the carbon tax. I like the no tax on tips. There's all this good stuff, but rapidly, like, I can like ignore some stuff and hold my nose with Trump, but quickly, I mean, by the hour, I morally cannot be part of this. You're already there saying vote Democrat. I get you're saying that as a carrot and the stick, but I mean, what the hell's going on here?
I think you have to. I think you have to vote Democrat in 26, and I'll tell you why. I mean, we're being told always that the Republicans are the lesser of two evils, that they're going to be marginally better than the Democrats. Look at all of the broken promises. Epstein files, that's huge. It's huge. And let's be honest, they tried to cover it up. It's not like they fumbled that. It's not like they made a mistake. They engaged in an active cover-up, and they failed only because of a revolt within their own party. And now Marjorie Greene is an outcast. She was like the MAGA congresswoman. She was like the one in Congress who came after Trump won the election. She's an outcast because she led the coup to get the Epstein files released. That's a big one. Then you got the deportations. They haven't started on the border wall. And even though they secured the border, look, they secured the border in 2020. What good did that do when Joe Biden came into power? Nothing, because then he just overturned all the executive orders and they came pouring in. That's why you need the wall. They haven't started it. 230,000 deportations. It isn't happening. And now we're in a regime change war with Iran. You've been around. I've been around not as long as you, but for some time. Regime change in Iran is like synonymous with the neocons' ultimate master plan. That is like the number one thing on Israel's wish list.
It's the jewel in the crown. It was the whole Middle East strategy in the Rebuilding America's Defenses PNAC plan 2020 or 2000 was this.
Yes, and even further than that, going back to clean break in 96, this has always been the plan. And for a time, we thought that was unthinkable. We thought that Trump winning made that impossible. So for Trump to be the one to take us there and sell it and push it and trigger it, and now we're in a regime change war with Iran, it's almost unbelievable to even say that. Thousands of American and Israeli airstrikes destroying Iran's military. Here's how I feel about it. If you will tolerate that, you will tolerate anything. At what point do you say no? At what point do you say there's no excuses? People say, well, if there's boots on the ground, dude, they're dropping bombs everywhere, and it's in Iran. So for me, I said, that's the last straw. I'm out. And you know me, I'm the furthest thing from a Democrat. I'm far right. I'm not left wing or even liberal. I don't consider myself even a center liberal or a right liberal.
Let's talk about that. Democrats get in. Isn't that accelerationist?
No, I think that I don't know that I would characterize it as accelerationist. I would characterize it as corrective. And it's sending a message to the GOP before the big one, which is 28.
Yeah, you're saying the only leverage we've got is the wake-up call.
Right. And, 28, we got to win that one. I really believe a Republican's got to win, but we need it to be the right Republican. And I don't know that there's any other language they will understand other than to show them we're not showing up in 26. And what's more, I also think that Vance and Rubio are to blame in this as well. If they couldn't stop a war in Iran when they're in power now, how are they going to make the decision when they become?
Now, the reason we're covering this is because, dude, I got a cat hair in my mouth. As I've repeatedly said, Mr. Fuentes is an important talking head, as well as like a trendsetter in a lot of ways, even though his influence kind of peaked in December and has not been really on the right, on the same wavelength. But it's ebbs and flows. I'm not shitting on him. I'm just telling you, that's just how it works, right? What's important here is that this is a guy who's probably responsible indirectly for one of the most popular politicians in the country right now, who is James Fishback, who, whether he wins or loses, if he loses the governor's race, he becomes the mayor of Twitter. Okay. This is a person who is a trendsetter, particularly with a younger demographic. Okay. And he's not advocating not voting, which is what he advocated before. Now he's saying to do something active rather than passive. Go out there and vote for the opposition in order to send a message. I think that this could, especially in a low turnout election, which all midterms are, actually have an effect on the country if this type of, like this person with this much influence says it. And I think that what's happening here is kind of odd because it kind of paints Fuentes into the whole stereotype, the you used to hear this a lot about the Groyper types, where they would say, you're not a real Republican. And they would say, I'm the real Republican, you're just the rhino, which was just an argument over a label. But at this point, when you put yourself in that frame and you say, I'm no longer a Republican for this election, I'll be one in the future, you are giving license for people to say that, oh, you're not a real Republican. Maybe you never were. And I think that that's an interesting strategy. I'm not sure how effective it is, but I do think it is somewhat effective, man. If you can punish for your interests, if you want to punish Donald Trump because you're angry at the Iran intervention, which he said is because he wanted to have Iran as a counterbalance to Israel, although he did support the Venezuelan intervention. This is something somewhat effective. I mean, Richard Spencer, despite my good feelings towards his analysis, usually does not have the influence that Nick Fuentes has on people who are actually going out there and voting. I'm not even sure if Mr. Spencer would want people to go out there and vote. You know, he said to vote for Kamala, but I'm not sure it's a huge thing. But Fuentes here is now, I don't want to say playing into the hands of the people he despises by saying I'm not an actual Republican anymore, I'm a Democrat, which is what they accused him of a long time. But this is an interesting choice. And again, this has happened all week. He said it over here as well in his show, on several shows. He said to vote Democrat.
Something has gone horribly wrong. All of those people, with some exceptions, were never Trumpers in 2016. Shapiro didn't vote for Trump in 16. Mark Levin was critical of Trump in 2016. Where were these people when the movement was actually born, when those pillars were in place? Now all of those people are in the center. The movement is something else now. And what we need in 2028, this is our last chance, we need in 2026 for this administration to be shut the fuck down. What does this administration do other than cover up the Epstein files, embezzle money through government contracts, and bring us to war for Israel? This administration needs to be shut down immediately. Do not vote in the midterms, and if you do, vote for Democrats. Fuck this. That is what the Republicans deliver. That is what our golden age looks like. The tariffs were refunded. The deportations were stopped. They wound down and withdrew the ICE from Minneapolis. What does this administration do other than embezzle money, go to war with Iran, and bury the Epstein files? Oh, and blackmail Harvard so they police anti-Semitism and ban people who criticize Israel from being in America. This administration needs to be shut down immediately. It has forfeited its mandate. They promise no new wars. They promise mass deportations in America first, and we're not getting any of it.
So we see here a direct appeal to his audience. Say, hey, you guys got to vote Democrat. We need to shut the administration down. Now, in some ways, I think if we shut down all politics, it'd be kind of nice. It actually would be kind of nice, man. Gridlock is the best time to be an American because nothing really gets done domestically. And I also think there's an angle here of like a scorned person, which I'm not going to shit on. You know, everyone has their own reactions where it's like, I supported this guy when it counted. And now I can't support him anymore because he's being supported by people that he was supposed to be against. But the fatwa, the Fuentes fatwa being issued here to go vote for Democrats is really a change from not voting, because he couched it there with not voting, but he said vote Democrat. And in these low turnout elections, it could make the difference once again. And here he is actually espousing sometime this week about what a Democratic administration would look like and what it would actually do in foreign policy.
You can't deport the Somalis from Minneapolis, but you can go to war with a 1 million-man army in Iran? Give me a break. Say whatever you want. People say, but the Democrats do all these other things. I don't give a shit. Maybe if a Democrat were in office, we wouldn't go to war with Iran. Joe Biden kept us out of a war with Iran. We didn't have a war with Iran under Joe Biden. And some people say, well, you would have gotten it anyway. Okay, so then voting doesn't matter. Is that what you're telling me? People tell me, well, it doesn't matter whether we vote for the Democrat or the Republican, we get the same thing. Okay, so then what does it even matter? If we're going to get a war with Iran all the same, if we're going to get H-1Bs and foreign students all the same, then why is this the most important election of our lifetimes? Because you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. You can't at once tell us we got to be good little plan trusters. Don't be a panicking. Everybody's got to vote. Stay in line. The golden age is imminent. And then tell us, well, it really doesn't matter. Trump can't stop a war in Iran. He can't stop mass migration. He can't stop anything. The best we can hope for is, we'll be a little bit better than the most progressive Democrat in history. They say, well, he's better than Kamala Harris. You mean the most progressive Democrat in history? He's better than the mixed race woman with a Jewish husband and that freak show family who wants to abolish the police and let in 10 million illegals and is in favor of, he's marginally better than her. Oh, great. That's what the MAGA movement was all about, right? Trump came down the escalator and said, we're going to be marginally better than the worst Democrats ever, right? That was the battle cry. Yeah, that must be a false memory. When Trump said, it's time to deliver a real victory for the American people, I will fight for you, I'll win for you, for every child that dreams, every parent that dreams for their child, I must have that's in my imagination. He came down the escalator and said, well, we're not going to import 10 million illegals. We're going to have net negative migration, kind of.
And so I really am struggling to thread this needle here because I haven't voted in years, man. I don't really vote, as I've said repeatedly, and I don't tell you not to vote. I know it means something to a lot of people. If you're black, it probably means more than it does to me, You're a woman. All that stuff. But, could Latinos always vote in this country? I know we were discriminated against, but I don't know how voting works. But whatever, besides the point. I don't really think it makes a difference. I really have not seen it make a difference in my lifetime. You always end up getting kind of the similar thing. I know that there's a lot of optimism. I saw someone mention that Dan Crenshaw's out. And yes, we are going more in a purist direction, which I'm not sure is going to be great for the country. However, I hate Dan Crenshaw, and I love to see him lose. Valentina Gomez lost last night, guys. She lost. Our girl lost. The girl who was going to keep the terrorists, Muslims out of the country, lost. Who would have thought? Who would have known that? But this is an interesting, this is a moment of truth for a lot of people. And I think Fuentes and I are about the same age. I think he's a year older than me. And, I came to this conclusion a lot earlier. I guess, there's probably people that want to actually do things in the real world that, would involve policy. However, I'm just wondering, because he's literally admitting, we're going to give them a wake-up call so that they will not be terrible in 2028. But how would they get a wake-up call? It wouldn't even matter to them under this framework. And I completely agree with that in some ways. I gotta say, this is the first administration in my lifetime. Well, no, George Bush did stuff too, where stuff is actually happening, right? But I think this was gonna happen anyway. I really don't see how anyone, when they get in that office, is not seduced by Benjamin Netanyahu to do exactly what needs to be done. People talk about, and my producer brings this up a lot, where people talk about it's not in America's interest, it's in Israel's interest. But that implies that these countries are not working together, for better or worse. And I think we can all acknowledge that at this point, right? That Israel and the United States are kind of tied at the hip. I don't really see either one having a hostile takeover of the other. This is not really a wag the dog situation in my view. It's kind of like this is just the way that it's been since they threw Forrestal out the window. When was that? 47 or something? Was it 48? No, it had to be 47. No, 48. It's probably 48. It was under Truman. So I'm just struggling here to see. Look, I'm not saying this is a bad strategy. I'm not saying it's not going to pan out for him. I'm not going to be critical. This guy clearly has more experience. I'm not sure if he's won more. I don't feel like Mr. Fuentes feels like he's won a lot more lately. And resigning himself to become a Democrat, at least temporarily, a temporarily embarrassed Republican, maybe it could work out for him and his interests, but I really am not sure. It's just fascinating to watch here because we keep seeing things like this, man. I can't say that I expect a Democratic midterm, although it's highly likely because Trump is now a wartime president, and we're going to see how that actually affects everything in terms of a midterm. You know, when you start a war, let's see how long this lasts. They said a few weeks, maybe a few months. That does affect voting patterns. And Donald Trump has made a lot of people happy, actually. He has made a lot of people happy. A lot of people not so happy, myself included, in the sense of like he's done some interesting stuff, but you know, the prices are not getting any better. The tariffs did cause inflation of some sort. And if they didn't, whatever, the inflation is still here and it makes life a little bit harder. But some interesting stuff, you know, the 50-year mortgage and all that. But I think that this is, I think that this can be refined, this position. I really do think it can be refined because I would like to see it play out in the long term. How does this play out in the long term? I'm not sure if getting a wake-up call is going to change anything. All right, Mr. Fuentes. My Hispanic brother. Hispanic brother turning Democrat. What? Let's get the carne asada going, buddy. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed the segment. We have to get here to our last segment, man, which we might run a little bit over on. I made a video today on YouTube. Everyone, please go like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel and the latest video. Go hype it too. Like it and hype it. Hyping helps a lot. Where I spoke about this man here, Professor Jiang, who people have mentioned before on this channel. We might not play this, okay? Professor Jiang. I know he's probably familiar to some people. I've had some friends recommend him to me and people in chat. And I said in my video today, and I'll reiterate, I never checked this guy out. And why did I never check him out? Because I was never clear with this, and I have to tell you this, okay? I have to tell you this. If a professor is a YouTuber, they are a scammer. That's just true, man. I don't know why it is, but that's just true. When a professor is a YouTuber, they are a scammer. You had to wait for Jordan Peterson to become a drug addict and sign a contract with the Daily Wire. I saw him become a YouTuber and I said, this guy's scamming now. The book is probably a scam. All of this is a scam. Same with Peter Zahan. Same with Lex Friedman, who's not even a professor. He plays one on TV. And I never trusted this guy. And that's why I never felt the need to check him out. However, he went on today to Breaking Points. And he just gave the biggest load of bullshit that I have heard in my whole life in regards to this Iran conflict. And so I went back through his catalog. Another reason I never liked this guy is because I found clips of him on Twitter where Sneeko was watching him and then later interviewed him. And Sneeko would say, quiet chat, it's time to study. And if Sneeko's studying something, I don't think it's worthwhile because the guy has not been right about anything when it comes to geopolitics, which who would expect him to be right about anything? So Professor Jiang, who is Chinese-Canadian, I think he's just playing an act. And I wanted to show you here because it seems like the knives are out. People are out here mocking him now, finally. And let's see here. This is, and we'll play the Breaking Points clip after this. This is a pretty funny one here. Predictive History. By the way, in that title, Predictive History is the scam. History is not something that you can use to be predictive outside of long-term cycles. I cite Spengler, Evola, the philosophers that predicted or just described Western decline, which we're currently in, that will last for the next 300 years. It's going to be a long time. I'm not a hype channel. I'm not here to scare you or anything. It's still gonna be around for a long time, and maybe even permanently. And I don't think it's Turchin, but other people talk about how technology could do this, right? So you can't use history to predict short-term events. I'm telling you this, man, because you can't rely on the history because the history is fake to begin with. But if you're using it for short-term events, it really makes no sense at all. Let's watch this young guy here do a pretty good impression of the guy.
Okay, Professor Jiang here. First thing, asymmetry. What is asymmetry? China invade Taiwan, you know, with them straw shooters like pew pew, because they're cheap to make, $50. And you shoot down with all the ICBMs, the CBMs, the MBCs, and the MPCs, 3 million. One of these things. And if it misses, 5-6 billion. The natives of China, you know, the people that got the fire dance going, right? Goo goo, gaga. Because the Taiwanese, they control the globe. We call it Pax Taiwana. Now, we got here, Zhongguo, cornered from all sides. You see the ocean? That's funded by the Sea Party rebels. Yes, we're talking about pirates. We also got the Chinese, you know, the people, they all messed up since the first thing they do is to call up a century. Yes, 100 years. So they unite all of the Chinese aunties across the world, make a flea market, sell the cheap stuff. Now, look, Vancouver is the new Shanghai. What is this? This is a pom-pom. Now you got to drop $400 on the Switch 2 and another $60 on that game. So I'm telling you, we can just pirate the damn thing. What's Nintendo going to do? Sue me? Because only mad men choose Bulbasaur as a starter. Since the Second Punic War never existed in my book, we might as well say that I can finally ROM hack these things to import my level 100 Lugia. So they say that method acting isn't real, then explain RDJ in TT. And that's why the Chinese Empire is going to lose the war. Why? Because their chakras all messed up. You know, Xi's got his first son shooting up to the Dan R6, only for the damn J-20 jets and the Beidou system forming the spider web, which, you know, of course, connected to the eye, like the Chinese radars. You know, yin and yang, basic Taoist stuff. And what is this? So this is what we call a sword, Chinese Kung Fu. It has the gong, you go bang that thing. Play one instrument, of course, yes. Now, there's 10 warlords here, and you might think all of them marching on Luoyang. Dong Zhuo, Empire in Chaos. What does he do? Get a concubine. Diao Chan was a man. Now, one general, Lu Bu. Does Liu Bei care? No. This is attrition. 3v1 at the Hulao Gate. And 5 rounds deep, you see his red hair is already tired. Because they did the propaganda wrong. Liu Bu's armor cost more than the entire Wei army. Still got the victory. 3 kingdoms.
Now, it's very funny. However, I do, before we play the clip, I need to tell you, because you're going to notice it in the clip after I point it out, okay? One of the reasons that I never liked Professor Jiang is because he's a scammer. And as any good scammer does, they use hypnotism, okay? This young man over here and making fun of him, I don't even know if he actually knows what he's doing. He's pointing something out that Professor Jiang does, which is that you can't hold more than 3 to 5 things in your mind at the same time. This is scientifically proven. So when I overload you with information, it actually makes you retarded. It actually turns off your cognitive faculty in hypnotic terms and allows me to brainwash you. And furthermore, I would say in his cadence, you know, a lot of you are going to say, no, but he doesn't speak English. It's a second language. Okay, English is my second language too. All right. It's even more disturbing that he learned English in a way to use hypnotism, because what you're going to notice is that he uses the word okay at the end of every other sentence. That is a hypnotic technique. That is something that is used to lull you into a sense of just accepting everything that he says. And look, I am nothing against Chinese propaganda. I love Eric Lee. He's a great Chinese propagandist. I really like him. You can always learn from propaganda. Propaganda always has some kernel of truth, and I recommend watching it. I watch American propaganda, Venezuelan, everything. There's a difference between that and someone scamming you on YouTube. Okay? There's a big difference. This is just someone who is using hypnotic techniques in order to lull you into a false sense of security. And here we have Crystal Ball and Sagar, who I guess, I don't know what's happened to these two, man, decided to interview him because they're against the Iran war, which is fine. And they decided this is the fountain of the information. So let's watch here. Mr. Liu says, what do you think of Carl Zah? I'm not aware of Carl Zah, sir. I'm going to look him up. Let's start here.
All right, guys, we've got yet another heavy hitter guest and first-time guest on the show. Professor Jiang, he is the star of the popular YouTube channel Predictive History. He uses game theory to analyze past, current, and to predict future geopolitical events. And he joins us now. Professor, great to have you.
Good to see you, sir.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, of course.
And the fact he didn't deny that is already a tell. Anyone, I haven't checked this guy out. I'm going to check this guy out, dude. Thank you, Mr. Ilu. I love any good propaganda, dude. I love propaganda. I collect Soviet propaganda posters. I collect Ostbau posters. I collect propaganda. My favorite thing in China was going to the Shanghai Propaganda Museum. It is so cool. If you're ever out there, you have to go, dude. It is the coolest thing. I bought a Cuban Revolution propaganda poster in Chinese. It is so cool. I love it. All right. And so here, the fact he didn't deny that, any good cyclical historian, like Academic Agent, I love Academic Agent. what he said, what he always says is in predictions, he says, listen, I can give you a really long term. I can't give you next year, next month, next day. And he didn't deny that. And the big claim to fame, the reason he's on here is because he predicted the Iran war 2 years ago. They've been predicting the Iran war since 1979. This is like Peter Schiff with the economy. Oh, next year's the big recession, and then 1 year it hits. So this does not give you a lot of credibility in my book.
So, for people who aren't familiar with your work, I wanted to show folks that back in 2024, you made 3 big predictions. 1, that Trump would win. 2, that he would start a war with Iran. And 3, that the U.S. would lose that war. Let's take a listen to that.
In this class this semester, I'm making 3 big predictions, right? First is that Trump will...
Did you notice that? Right? Right? That's a sales technique too. There's other ones like fair enough. Right? Right? You're nodding along. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. That is to turn off your cognitive faculty.
Win in November. Second is that the United States will go to war against Iran. And the third big prediction is that the United States will lose this war, which will forever change the global order.
So obviously that last one is the only one that has not yet come to fruition. Is quite a stunning prediction. Do you stand by it, and what have you seen so far that leads you to sort of stand firm in that conclusion?
So given my analysis of how the war is progressing, I think that Iran has many more advantages over the United States. The reality is that right now, it's a war of attrition between the United States and Iran. And the Iranians have been preparing 20 years for this conflict.
And notice the pauses. This is a very specific thing that's done. Okay? The pauses. When you talk in this deliberate, somewhat boring fashion, any information is getting right past the cognitive faculty. I'm taking my hypnosis test this week to get certified. To explain it to you guys, because I'm bad at this. I'm bad at explaining things. I assume people know things. The way it's described is that it is the bouncer at the door of your brain. So the reason when a homeless guy comes up to you and says, "Can I hold $1?" Your cognitive faculty is not turned off. That's why you go, "No, dude, get away from me." But if they come up with you and they tell you, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second? I have a very interesting story." That turns your bouncer off. And then they will sneak in, "Can I hold $1?" You can use this in real life. You can use this at job interviews, man. You can use this to get what you want. Apply it. I'm not begrudging him for this. I'm begrudging the information.
In their eschatology, in their religion, this is a war against the great Satan. They've had many practice runs. Last June was a 12-day war when the Iranians were able to examine and analyze the strike capacities of both the Israelis and the Americans. And they've had a lot of time, 8 months, to prepare fully for this new attack. They, through their proxies, the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Shia militias, have been able to really grasp the American mentality. And now they have a pretty good strategy of how to weaken and ultimately destroy the American empire. So what the Iranians are doing is they're waging war against the entire global economy. And so they are striking the GCC countries. And not only are they striking GCC countries, American bases, but they're going after the critical energy infrastructure.
Look at how they're nodding along. I understand their anchors, but this is what's happening. And I'll introduce you to a little bit more hypnosis here. There's this thing that Mike Mandel, who's a hypnosis pioneer, developed called the Mandel Triangle. When you do hypnosis, there are 4 C's, okay? They are firstly confidence, which is when you approach something not with confidence, like I tell you, "Oh, be confident." Confidence means that you know that you are coming off as an expert. You're coming off, you're not stuttering, your filler words are used in a purposeful way, okay? This is one aspect. The other aspect is called congruence. Okay, congruence is that the way you speak lines up with your emotions. So, for example, if your wife or your husband says, "Do I look fat in this?" and you go, "No, you don't look fat," they're going to know that there's something that's not true. You should strive to be congruent. Congruence is lining up the way you're speaking with the emotions that you're feeling inside. Okay? The other aspect is called conviction. And conviction means that what you're saying, when you're saying it, you know that other people are going to believe it. You have to know that. You have to go into it saying, I'm the man, I'm here, I'm going to work. And the last one, which is the most important in the center of the triangle, is called calibration. And calibration is what he's doing here on his screen. Calibrating, you have to always be calibrating, means you're watching. Are other people dropping their guard? Are they nodding along? Are they agreeing? Do they look disarmed? And if you have all those four, you are hypnotized. That's all you need. That's how you know you're hypnotized. Let's continue.
Of these bases, they blocked off the Strait of Hormuz, and eventually they will go after the water desalination plants, which is the lifeblood of these nations because they don't have fresh water supply. In fact, the water desalination plant provides 60% of the GCC's water supply. So if a drone, and these drones cost $50,000, if they wiped out a desalination plant in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
How you doing, Iron Hammer? I'm going to address this here. Sneeko is perpetually hypnotized. I know it's a joke, Iron Hammer, but I'm going to tell you something. Islam is perhaps the best hypnotic religion. I'm not shitting on it. I'm not saying anything. Islam is one of the best applicators of hypnotism in religion. Catholics used to be better at it, and they are still good at it inside of the church. But Islam has a demand that you go into a trance 5 times a day. That means that you are constantly hypnotized. And we're hypnotized. By the way, I don't want to freak you out. You're hypnotized all the time. You don't realize it. If you weren't hypnotized all the time, you'd have a terrible life. Okay? Hypnotism, do you know why when you're driving somewhere, it always feels longer than on the way back? There's a term for it. It's called highway hypnosis. And your brain literally shuts off in order for you, not literally, but it shuts off the cognitive faculty, all of the things that are messing you up, all of the things that you would have noticed on the way there because you have this time crunch. And you just feel like you get back a lot faster, even if it's the same distance and the same time, okay? The reason that you get tired when you go on vacation, no matter how relaxing it is because your peripheries, these things here on the side of your head, are in a completely unaccustomed place. They don't know what anything is. So you are tiring out your brain all the time when you're on vacation because you're constantly readjusting your peripheries. But at home, it's not like that. You know where everything is. You know how everything works. And that's why you're not as tired. That's just a side note. I think it'd be interesting.
And it's a city of 10 million people, right? They'd be out of water in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. And right now, the Iranians have de facto closed off the Strait of Hormuz. And the GCC gets 90% of its food from the Strait of Hormuz. So I know a lot of people are talking about...
Look at this. Release tension in the lips. Eyes are more relaxed. A serious look, but nodding consistently. This man has them under his thumb. What a genius. What a genius at this.
The disruptions to the global economy. But right now, the Iranians are actually threatening the very existence.
Also, the speaking slowly, the other reason it works is because you don't let other people interrupt you when you speak slowly because you're constantly edging them. You're telling them, hang on, something's coming, something's coming, something's coming. So they don't feel a need to interrupt. This guy is controlling the frame.
Of Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Qatar. And why this is important is that the Gulf states are really the linchpin of the American economy. So what they do is they sell petrodollars and then they recycle the petrodollars back into...
And again, as I said, he's introduced how many topics here? Your brain can only handle 3 to 5. He has gone on a monologue here where he's talked about 10 different things. You don't remember what he started this with, do you? Do you remember? I don't remember. We're all susceptible to this.
American economy through the investments in the stock market. And right now, we know that the entire American economy is propped up by AI investments in data
Stock market, AI.
centers. And a lot of that comes from the Gulf states.
Gulf states.
So if
Also, the use of the word "so" is heavily emphasized in hypnosis.
Gulf states are no longer able to sell oil, and they're no longer able to finance AI, this AI bubble in the United States, then this AI bubble will burst, and with it will burst as well as the entire American economy, which
American economy. He's already said 6 different things. He said 6 different things. So is a transitive word. He has used this transitive word in order to introduce 6 concepts in under 20 seconds. Okay, in under 20 seconds. You don't know what he said 20 seconds ago.
Really a financial Ponzi scheme.
Right.
So that's a dire situation that the Americans are facing right now.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, sir, an Amazon data center was literally hit in the UAE. And now, of course, big tech companies, which were looking at the UAE as a major potential data center investment hub with cheap and abundant energy, probably going to be rethinking that. We also wanted to talk to you about munitions. We could put this next one up here.
All right, and we're going to skip ahead to the end because this is how I show you that this guy is just full on. I don't know why you would listen to this.
The Saudis and the Israelis are bribing him to attack Iran. Remember that the Saudis invested $2 billion in the private equity fund of Jared Kushner, who is the son-in-law of Donald Trump. And the Israelis, through Miriam Adelson, have been financing Trump's political career, right? So Miriam Adelson, a few months back, said that she will put up $250 million if Trump were to run a 3rd term. So Trump is getting a lot of financial and political support from the Saudis and Israelis. Also remember that if this war goes sideways and Trump is forced to use...
Also, I see Eve says, therefore these 6 things are true. Eves, that's not necessarily true, but it is. However, what you should notice for, what you should be on the lookout for, and these are hard to catch, are these things called embedded commands. And you can catch them a little bit. So the way it works is like, if I came to you and I said, you have to put like a pause before you say what you actually want. Okay? So if I come up to you and I say, please feel free to sit down. You are now primed to sit down. That's how it works. It's an embedded command. Within the same sentence, you are telling someone to do something. And you don't know what it is. You will watch this and you will come out raped. Your brain is getting raped right now. You have no idea what he actually wants from you. I heard him here make an embedded command when he paused and said, put up $25 million. Is it a financial thing? I mean, I don't know.
Ground troops. He will probably get approval from Congress, and this will give him emergency war powers, which will allow him to influence the midterms. So Trump is thinking about a 3rd term. And I think at the ballot box, he probably won't get it. But if there's a war going on and you can delay elections and you have emergency war powers and people rally around the flag, then he probably will get a 3rd term. And the last factor that is very important is the eschatological factor, where if you look at the Epstein files, it's clear that we are run by secret societies. It's clear that the world is run by these individuals who have a lot of power. We don't know who they are, but they control the military. They control the national security apparatus. And these people, there are different names for these people. You can call them the Illuminati. And the Illuminati are composed of 3 major groups, okay? You have the Jesuits, who control the Vatican. You have the Sephardim Frankists, which control the modern state of Israel today. And you have the Freemasons, which control the national security apparatus of the United States. And they believe that Israel, this war in the Middle East, is key to the...
And that's where I drop out. This is Candace Owens in the presenting as a Chinese professor. The Frankists, the Masons, and who was the other one? The Frankists, the Masons, and the Jesuits. I had everything says Chinese man is just making this more schizo. That's exactly what it is. I don't know if that's his agenda. This is schizophrenia. The Frankists, if Candace Owens said this, you would be laughing at it. But because it's coming from this very refined sort of thing, you're not laughing at it. And by the way, I'm not schizoing you out with this hypnosis stuff. You should be on the lookout for it. This is used. It's not secret knowledge. There's books about it. You can find it anywhere. Okay, it's all over, and it has been scientifically studied. You can become a licensed hypnotherapist with the APA. Like, this is not something stupid. So be on the lookout for it, dude. Politicians use it all the time. It's very good for persuasion. It's very good for anything that you want to accomplish in life. But be on the lookout when other people are doing it to you, because you don't know what their agenda is. So that's what I would say, guys. Hypnosis is worth studying, dude. It's getting, there's never been more people interested in hypnosis than right now. And I see Mr. Elu asked, what do you think about the ground troops to support the Kurds? Are they sending ground troops? I saw that they admitted that they're going to arm the Kurds, which the Kurds are just like, I don't understand how you could be Kurdish, man. Like, the Kurdish just take L after L after L after L. They're our greatest ally. We love the United States, the Kurds. You've been fucked at every level since the beginning of time. But in more recently, the 90s, the Iraq War, to the interventions in Syria, you keep getting fucked, but you keep signing up for it. I think that Kurds are like, maybe they're like robots or something. Like, they just don't, the Kurds are really like never fighting for themselves. They're always like, oh, America's here to support. They need us. Maybe this time it'll work out. It never works out if you're Kurdish, dude. It never works out. All right, everyone. We went a little bit over time. We hit 1.5K subscribers. I'm very, very proud to announce that. It's not an easy ride from here, and it may go down again. However, I do have to honor my promise, and I will be purchasing new ties for the show to make it more distinctive throughout the week. They're all going to be the same style, so we're going to have a little bit more color on the show. Appreciate all the support we've gotten. If you're new here, like, comment, and subscribe for sure. Hype the latest video that was about Professor Jiang today. Just kind of a rant, but I really appreciate it. It's not an easy ride. It's going to be harder and harder up until 2.5K is my understanding. Prove you're not a bot. Prove you're not a glitch. Prove you're an actual human being. Hit that subscribe button. And, man, it's been a fun ride, man. We've been growing this channel. I'm very, very proud of it so far. And we just need a more rapid growth. But also, remember the rules. You're not allowed to talk about the channel. So I don't know how you're going to share it. You're not allowed to talk about it. I appreciate everyone tuning in. I'm going to be on the Discord tomorrow morning, I promise. I'm going to put out another video tomorrow. Fuck, man, I forgot the topic. I can't. I would tease it out, but I forgot. So I appreciate everyone tuning in. Foil hat, Eves. I had everything. Mr. Elu. Who else we got? We had Suzanne come in late. Ironhammer Forge. I really want to know. Stafford. All the great chatters here. Audio Vibes was here as well. And this new guy, X. J Boss as well. Appreciate everyone tuning in. William here as well. William, are you in the Chiron? Because you sent a super chat. Let me see if you're in the Chiron. If you're not, I'll literally add you right now before I go, because I'm going to forget, as usual, because I am Latino. Excuse me, guys, to quote Jesse Lee Peterson, I am Latino and slow, so if I don't do something, it's because of that. Let me check here if you're on the Chiron, my friend. Remember, you sent that. What is this called? Oh, I got it. Live chat. Afra, I missed you, Afra, tonight. Where was Afra? Afra's off fucking solving some math thing. Afra's a fucking math whiz doing something crazy that I would never be smart enough to do. No, you're not on there, so I definitely got to add you. Is it the banner? No, what's this called? You're going to see it live, William. Okay. No, not the chat. We need the fucking this thing. Where is it? Media panel, camera frame, Chiron. That's what it's called. Where's our Chiron? Where's our Chiron? Desktop. I'm sorry, guys. Some boomer tech here, but I want to make sure I do this. I remember William sent in a super chat. And that gets you on the Chiron, William. All right, let's do that. Let's do this. Copy. Paste. Boom. Boom. Almost. Hang on, guys. Boomer Tech here. Hang on. See that, we'll ask the question. Look at that before we go. Control S. All right, good. And now we gotta refresh this. Okay, Chiron, refresh. All right, you're on there, William. Hat says, I don't give a fuck. Where are you from, Leo? I thought you were black last month. No, we were just doing Black History Month, sir. I'm Venezuelan and Chilean. I think you know that, bro. From Miami. Can't wait for Hispanic Heritage Month, dude. We're going to have a lot of fun on that one. We're going to have a lot of fun. And if you guys want White History Month, just let me know, and we'll pick a month for that. If you guys want Indian History Month or any of that shit, you guys let me know. All right, guys. Everyone like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate everyone tuning in. This was a fun show. And I will see you guys tomorrow with more war updates.
Change the world. My final message. Goodbye. 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 Change the world. My final message.